Welcome back to E-Erotic the brand. Hi, my name is Eden Lee Middleman. I'm your favorite dating and sex coach here. I want to talk about masturbating with your partner. And the first time I brought this up was in a video on how to have better sex and how to improve your sex game. Masturbating with your partner is not just the act of masturbating to one another beside one another. It is such a fucking golden move to make. Could be in the midst of sex, could be used as foreplay, could be used as just like an intimacy building thing, a relationship building thing. You have no idea. It brings you closer in more ways than you expect. And I know that so many of you right off the bat are like, ugh, masturbating with your fucking partner, that's weird. Like, it's my alone time. And here's the thing, I'm not saying to not masturbate alone. That's not what I'm saying at all. However, if you're trying to quit the porn shit, which you should, this is also a great way to have visual stimuli with somebody that means something to you and turn each other on in that way and still have that like one-on-one time with your body. It just hits all the boxes for me. And the first time I tried it, I was so fucking uncomfortable. Me and my partner at the time had sex and then we chilled for a bit, cooled off, hung out in bed. And then he started to touch me and then took my hand and said, touch yourself, while he touched himself. And that was so fucking hot. Just him telling me to touch myself and just him watching me do that and getting turned on and touching himself was so hot and sweet and romantic, but like dirty at the same time. And it was just a dangerous combination. Let me tell you, a dangerous combination. If you have not tried it, I highly encourage it. For those that are not in relationships, this can be weird with people that you are not close with. And I don't necessarily recommend that. However, if you're pretty sexually in tune and you're comfortable and you have a partner, a sexual partner that you trust and you might not be in a relationship, then I think this is something that you guys can do to spice things up, change things up. Or you can do this in the midst of sex. So I'm going to break it down for you guys on when to do this, how to do this, and how to prompt this. And then I'm going to talk about some tips and tricks and tell you a little bit more on masturbating with your partner. You can just masturbate from start to finish and watch each other masturbate and do your own thing. You can help each other and swap and touch each other and then go back to doing that. This is a great way of turning yourself on, watching your partner, having them turn you on. You can verbalize things and tell each other what to do when you're masturbating to one another. It is just like a hot, fun little activity you can throw in the day to break it up and learn more about their body. This is like my secret sauce sometimes. You know, at the beginning of relationships, like sex is great and you have sex and you go through that honeymoon with sex and you're so excited. But then I like to like pause and learn more about them sexually, because sometimes you're just like so caught in the moment. You're not really focusing on like, what exactly do they like? What can I learn? You know, what can I kind of take and put in my toolbox and like throw into our next sexual experience later? Watch how they masturbate. You learn so much about how, you know, they grip their dick or how she touches herself or how fast, or like, are we rotating things? Are we touching our balls? Are we using two hands? Or do we need it lubricated? Like, what do we prefer? Because we know our bodies best, right? And so learning about their body is usually through trial and error by sex, but masturbating is kind of like the cheat code to learning more about what they like. And then the nice thing is like you can hop in there too and try and mimic what they're doing. It's a really nice kind of like show and tell and then do experience. And it's just fucking hot. You know, this is true. It's just fucking hot, point blank, period. We can just end the video here. Masturbating with your partner is a great way to foreplay, but it's also amazing to make you last longer in bed. Yes, you heard me. If you don't want to take a break in the midst of sex and be like, okay, I just need to chill for a second. Oh my God, you know, awkward, like people get uncomfortable, people get insecure about that. This is a great way of like transitioning into something a little bit less intense, but still is sexually arousing for people, and it doesn't kill the mood. So like you can have sex and then pause and like demand him, like touch yourself, you know, and like help them out, like suck on his balls, or the man can like help you out with other things or touch each other. And that creates a pause, a little gap that's more organic during that sexual experience, so that you feel like the sexual experience is lasting longer. Especially if you feel like, okay, like, oh, this is getting like much, like I don't know how long I can hold off. For my guys out there, this is a great way of making it seem like you're in control, everything's good. We're going to switch it up. I'm going to make you want it more. You're building the tension with her too, and you're cooling yourself off. So, ladies and gentlemen, you're welcome. I also found, and this is going to be maybe like the more relationship cheesy version of what masturbating with your partner is really about. It's bonding. And it's, yes, you learn about each other, but there's something about this act being so private, done usually in an unhealthy way. You're kind of embarrassed after, you feel ashamed and guilty after. You're watching porn. Like, you're kind of removing the unhealthy elements, and you're doing it with somebody that you're attracted to, that you love or like, that you're in a relationship with. And you're kind of opening those sort of walls up from like something you would do privately and allowing them to enter that world with you. And to be honest with you guys, there's nothing to be embarrassed about. Everyone masturbates. And the truth is, if you're going to be like awkward and weird about it, or you're going to judge the other person for how they masturbate, then you shouldn't be having sex. Then you're immature and you're a fucking child, okay? Where are your parents? You're not ready for that. Don't do that yet. When you're mature and you're comfortable with your partner and yourself, you know, which I think is usually the struggle for most people, which is understandable. But this is a great way of breaking those things, facing your fears, you know, removing that like uncomfortable, you know, self-conscious narrative and air to masturbating and to being vulnerable with your partner. Seeing your partner get themselves off because they're watching you and then they're touching themselves is a different level of intimacy and sexiness. And I can't really put words to this experience. It is something I highly recommend everyone do. All couples do. Spice it up in the midst of sex, before sex, just on its own on a fucking Sunday morning. Like, and if you feel like maybe it's just not for you, find ways that you can kind of bring each other together. If you feel like it's a bit, okay, awkward, we're just sitting together and touching ourselves and that's it. Talk to each other, okay? Look at each other, maybe face each other, maybe do it in the shower, in the bath. What I love is like telling your partner what to do, or like, you know, don't stop, or like stop right now. And like, I play this game sometimes, you know, where it's just like a bit of a dominance thing, which is really hot to me. Is like my partner will tell me what to do to myself and when to do it to myself, and if I need to stop and if not, or like, you know, telling me when to come. Like, just playing that fucking game can be really hot. You need to know the narrative that you like, obviously, in the bedroom, and you can incorporate this with that narrative still playing. Find a way of doing that. Get creative. Don't be afraid to masturbate with your partner. Talk to them about it, or just prompt it. You know, feel them up and then say, touch yourself, and then you touch yourself, and then they'll kind of understand what's going on. And if they kind of like are not really feeling it, then you can just go back to your usual sex routine and talk about it next time, or figure it out later. And maybe it's just not for you. But I guarantee you, once you get past like the first few minutes of potential awkwardness, you're going to understand and you're going to feel really in your element. You're going to feel really good about it. It's kind of like a liberating experience almost. Let me know if you guys have tried it and how you enjoy it. And I will see you guys back here so soon. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to my YouTube channel and hit the bell for the notifications so you don't miss any more of these episodes. I know this was a short and sweet one. If you're listening to this on the podcast, don't forget to follow the podcast and subscribe to it and rate it 5 large and in charge stars. It really helps me out so much. And I will see you guys back here very soon. Take care. Have fun.